Hey, P2, do you want to hear some trivia?
Oh, mate, I love a good game of trivia.
Guess what happens when a chook and two pelicans get together?
What's that, mate?
A clucking good time. That's right, you pelicans. The wobbly chook has jumped on board, keeping the bird presence strong. Whether you like a pale ale, brown ale, IPA, or a lager, the wobbly chook has you catered. Crafted from Yamba's finest chooks.
Better still, Mick, how do we get some wobbly chook?
That's easy, P2. Jump online at www.wobblychookbrewingco.com or pop into 26 Cole Street in the heart of Yamba.
And have a clucking good time.
Cluck out.
Cuckoo! Always remember, don't be a mud gudgeon and drink responsibly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Two Pelicans Podcast. So you would have just missed that.
G'day, you Pelicans.
Here he was. You were sort of hung up on his
Go and have a good time with her a bit later on.
Pelicans landing in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to the Two Pelicans Podcast, where each week is a different week here at Pelican HQ. I'm Mick.
I'm Beau.
And we are the Two Pelicans, once again to make fishing great again for you guys. One yarn, one throw, one cast at a time. But I tell you what, I'm over this fucking technology. How about it, eh?
I tell you what, it's the most stressful half an hour of my life before we start this show.
So last week, right, everything just went to a T, no problems, just bang, 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 bang. Everything worked, right? Today, internet issues, dropping in and out. Can't get the phone working, can't call our guests later, so we're doing a few roundabout ways to try and work through that. But I tell you what, the one thing that does get us through,
Cluck and chook.
is a wobbly chook. So shout out to the chook, always here looking after the Pelicans, keeping us hydrated, and
worry free,
and keeping our worries to a bare minimum, I would say, mates. Look, I'm just going to go straight into it. How was your week? You've been a very busy boy.
Yeah, I have been a very busy boy. Had a very busy weekend on Friday. Was meant to go up to Somerset and pre-fish, but decided to sneak out with today's guest. We'll talk about that a little bit after.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Went and had a fish with him and used some of his products for the first time, and
they didn't disappoint.
No, they really didn't disappoint. So I'm really excited to talk about some of that stuff after. But yeah, then after that, fished with Beau. And then did
There's
some,
a hint.
There's a hint. Did some work.
And he's not talking about his other split personality.
No, that's right. There's 13 of them bastards. Just ask the missus. Did a wedding, then drove up to Somerset. Got up to Somerset, so pretty much hadn't slept yet. Got to Somerset at 3:30 in the morning. Almost took out a deer and its thorn near the gate. Came in the gate and this deer's just whooped straight over the bonnet.
Actually, it's funny. It was posted on Facebook somewhere. Obviously, it was over in America, but there was a deer that hit the side of the bass boat and was in between the bass boat and the trailer. Just random shit that you see down the Robert Warren of the Facebook world. But
Facebook world. So then got up to Somerset. Good old mate Phil, he went out he come down and picked the boat up and went out for a pre-fish on Friday and really struggled, but found where some fish were and gave us a bit of a pattern idea of what we wanted to do. We ducked out to Pelicans, fished around Pelicans for a bit, hoping for what Pelicans is known for.
Yeah.
And that the fish were there. There was fish there.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't active, and that they were just mooching. But it was great to see my live actually working. I think semi properly to where I'm quite happy and comfortable with it. And then we ducked over to Pelicans camp over to the other side of Pelicans Point. And just work that rock bank. And
this is all part of the Bass Electric tour.
Yeah, Bass Electric at Somerset.
Yeah. Okay.
Sponsored by Daiwa. We saw Dave Darryl Love up there working working a bit of a point, and we were coming to that area and saw that he'd hooked up on some fish on this other point.
Yep.
So we gave him that area and then swung right around him. And then there was another point on the other side that was very similar to what he was fishing. He was fishing an ice jig.
Yeah,
and I did have an ice jig tied on and was trying. I'd been trying all day with the ice jig because I thought, well, if these fish are going to be sluggish, maybe I'll just sit something in their face and just
Eventually they'll bite.
Yeah, but that's what I thought. And then Sweet Chili Philly dropped down a tiny little. I think we both He started with a Gomoko little storm blade.
Okay. Yep.
Real little tiny fella.
Tiny profile.
And then whack straight away got a fish. And I was like, "What'd you get that on?" And he's like, "Real tiny silver blade." And I was like, "Right, I know." Went to the box, got one out. Actually, I think he threw me one because he had a couple sitting there. He threw me one, and I was like, "All right, don't have to go to my box." Beauty, tied it on, dropped straight down, and literally fished straight away. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then he had a 32, and I think I had a 30 in the boat.
Yeah.
He dropped back down. He got a 29. I dropped down, and I got the roughly a 1.3, 1.4. We both dropped down again, and then we both picked up 32s, and then completely shut down.
Okay. So that was a pre-fish, or
no? That was
comp day, right?
Comp day,
and obviously that was enough to seal you into second place.
Yeah, got the old second place badge.
Yep, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
So look, who come first?
Our winner was Darren Love.
So he was the guy that was fishing the other bank near you guys. So there you go.
Right. And at that stage, he only had a 32 and a 30 in the boat. And he went to a little point near Happy Clappers, I think it was.
Yep.
Threw out a blade across the point. Nothing. Picked up Hide Up 400, I think it was.
Yep.
Trudged it across the bottom, did 3 winds, and picked up a 2.16.
Okay, that's getting up there now.
Yeah. So he took out the round with 2.76 kilos, I think it was. And also took out Jollop Big Bass for his 2.16.
Oh, Jojo.
Kilo. Yeah.
All right.
So shout out to Joey there. So, but yeah, really tough day. We had 36 competitors, 28 boats, and out of that, only 8 people caught fish, 3 people caught bags. So yeah, it was a very tough day. A couple of undersizes, a couple of catfish were caught.
Yeah,
as well.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, no, very tough day in the office for some of the boys.
Okay.
And that, but no, all had a good time.
All right. So now part of the show is that we love talking about fishing and all that, but what were some of the highlights off the water? Now, I'm not going to read into this too much. I did see you and maybe Phil or someone talking about eating pies at a certain time or doing something at a certain time in the morning.
Yeah.
Can we elaborate on that? Because I thought I'll save this for the show. I'm not going to ask, but I'm not going to ask you prior to this. I'm just going to throw it straight on here.
So it got the better of me. I think it got to about. So we started at like 6:30. Takeoff was a little bit later, like 6:35.
Yep.
Person had a boat issue, so we all stayed back and made sure they were right to start.
Cool.
And went up to before Pelicans on the inside of Pelicans there, and just did that little bay along there. I might have laid down for a sleep. And a few boats might have saw fill up the front, and then some feral looking bastard curled up.
It's all in a day's work, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Have a sleep and then come second.
And I know. And then woke up back into fishing. Had a Red Bull back into it. But I was starving.
Right, because
dead set starving.
I said to you, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm still down around this area here. And I'm like, oh, this was at some stupid time, like at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night or something. I'm like, man, when are you going to go fish this? And I said, man, you'll be cooked. And you're like, plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. So you've had a little kip in the boat. Woke up a bit starving.
And the struggle was hard. Like we had not had a bite until 12 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
And it got to, and it was like 10 to 12, and we're both looking at each other going, those hot chips at that shop look good. I reckon we could get back, get hot chips, and I could still make time to do all the weigh in and presentation and all that. And literally after that, we're like, we'll just do this section here, and we'll make the call. And we did that section there, and 20 minutes later, we both had our bags. And it's just funny how one bite, even a bite, just can change the complete mood. Can change the complete mood on a boat. But then in also saying that, you've just got to push through that. Like some days it's hard. Some days it's harder than others. That was a pretty hard day for me. We were going to get hot chips at 12. But the wind blew up on this point, just made it enough for the fish to stir up. And all I'm putting it down to is we were at the right place at the right time.
Of course. And there has to be a little bit of that with fishing as well. Is that especially in the comps too, like, where the place is to be. Now, I'm definitely no dam master, but in my mind, when I'm in tidal systems, I'm thinking around this tide, need some run, but need it just slowing up. And then sometimes, depending on where I'm fishing, I like it absolutely boring out because it does other things that I need it to do. So, but essentially, most people say hour top below the tide as a general thing, but in the dam, there ain't no fucking tide.
No.
So you're looking for like wind and other aspects.
And a lot of dam fishermen do talk about a tide in a dam, and it took me a few years to figure out what they were actually talking about. And they're talking about the direction that the wind goes onto that bank, which then creates a bit of a higher flow on that bank. But another thing on my 5-hour drive home from Somerset that I was thinking about times that I've placed actually well in these dams. It's when I've actually thought about these dams and actually fished them like I would in a river.
Okay. Yep.
And it's all coming around rocky point sections.
Yeah. Okay.
If I can find a rocky point section in these dams and there's fish there, I'm usually I'm having pretty good success.
Yep.
And so that's a little thing that I've written down in my little book that I'm going to be looking out for a lot more in these dams.
And just quickly, how many guys ended up entering by the end of this comp? Like, how many competitors were there?
We ended up having 42, but we ended up having a few pull out, so we ended up having 36, I think it ended up being.
Okay, all right. So, look, anyone that's interested in these Bass Electrics, want to find out more about it, contact us at the Two Pelicans Podcast. I'm sure we'll be able to help you out with that. So, twopelicans podcast at gmail.com. Look, so that wasn't the only comp that was going on this weekend.
No, it wasn't the only comp.
Surprising to me. I only found out that there was a local comp on Friday night. There wasn't really much hype made up around this, and unfortunately, I'd made other commitments with the Fan Bam and couldn't go. But I see, and I'll get this wrong, but Damien Winners, there we go. You've written all this down, and Bobby Hall were the winners of the Bryn comp. And I think they got something like 3.8 kilo off the top of my head.
3.84, I think it was.
Yeah, righto. So well done to them guys. And I know they had a few competitors, 15 boats, but something like that.
Yeah, 17, 18 boats, I think it was. Yeah.
There was a lot of bags over 3 kilos.
Yeah, there's a few good bags.
That tells me that the river's starting to go back to normal. Thank fuck. But more importantly, around this time of year, these sort of numbers are generally what's expected. So that was a little bit funny. I found that interesting. Just not much hype about it or whatever.
Yeah, nah.
And anyhow, the gurus, might need to just promote that a little bit more. I just didn't see it. Usually something bangs me in the face.
I had to message. I honestly had to message Duffy and say, "Is there a comp?"
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, because I was unsure. I had a couple of Queensland boys down, and they were thinking about fishing it and that. So
yeah, okay. All right.
I don't think they ended up fishing it, but
but
Shall we bring up sorting out the boundaries?
Jesus Christ.
No, look, it's a valid point.
Did Tyson message you too this morning, did he?
No. We brought it up on Facebook. But
oh, you're talking about... Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
Oh, no. Jeez, no.
No.
That's not for this podcast.
Ooh. But look, it was an interesting thing, and it's something that's happened, I think, more recently. And I had to ask the question because I've been out of it a little bit too, so I wasn't quite sure. But anyhow, I think it was explained that it's the eastern, or the boundaries right between the two walls. So, but when it's rough, it sort of falls back in, and then. Even further to that, some of the stuff that came in about the life jacket stuff. So, and what's deemed open waters. So that's another thing that I've just picked up and put in my little spank bank to talk about. Hopefully, we can get someone to make a comment about these that actually are in that space, and hopefully that person listens, because we've got a lot of questions and we're getting a lot of different. Ideas or opinions from, I guess, the whole community about.
And I think this is the sort of the hard thing with these guys, is that it's not like when you're driving a car on the road, the rules are pretty black and white.
Yeah,
there's a lot of grey and shaded grey areas on the water. It's probably not shaded to the guys that like the enforcers of this, but to the weekend warrior and the guy that thinks he knows the rules.
Yeah.
Because these rules do get updated with not a lot of broadcast as well.
That's exactly right. And I think this platform would be a great place to sort of get that out in the open and have a bit of a yarn about it, and maybe run through some hypotheticals or whatever it might be. So in the future, I'm going to chase up some people to see whether they can assist in that or point us to a particular part of legislation or website, and more than happy to try and pull that apart for our viewers. So because there has been some mixed messaging, I think, over the last 6 months, and it's happened to, I think, most people that I know that fish. It's not just me that's happened to me once or twice, it's other people as well. So anyhow, all right, well, let's just sort of see if our guest might be ready. We sort of did say 4 o'clock, but look, it's probably a good segue to get up to, and I just want to be honest, this week just gone, I done nothing. I went up the Gold Coast, spent time with my family. I did nothing fishing related, but I'm going to this weekend. So we'll talk about that next podcast, which subsequently will be the 50th.
Yes, it will be the 50th.
So with that, we may have some more prize stuff going on, but we need to nut out the prize stuff that's happened over this week.
Over this week. So we've got a couple of prize stuff that's happened this week. So shout out first to Mackenzie Luck.
Let's have a talk about this. You got a stitch up there, didn't you? Someone guessed it straight away.
Yeah. Fucking well done, Mackenzie. I thought it was going to be a little bit tougher.
My comment is that fishermen are fucking anal. You know what I mean? They are anal. Yeah.
And there was a couple of other ones that, like, I did sneak down to my tackle and rummaged around through a few undershelf drawers and to try find some stupid ones. And I did. Yeah. But let's just say, when you're trying to trace these and trying to make it look like it's... I must have traced it pretty fucking good, let's just say, because he got it pretty quickly. But it probably took me 10 goes.
You might be a professional drawer. You've missed your call on that.
Let's not go that far. Too many times tracing something in the shadow, I reckon. But congratulations. $50 Mo Tackle voucher going down there. I'm actually going to call Nige up and see if I can just pay for a $50 voucher so I can get it done quicker for you, mate. All right. So
sorry, Nige.
Leave it with me. I've been at Somerset. I've just started a new job, but
give him just a week.
I'm gonna call Nige and see if I can pay for a voucher over the phone and get it sent to you, or if you can use it, I don't know. But you've got a $50 voucher coming. Also, this one, which I'm really excited about because he's got some really cool gear, is after our episode dropped with Matty Fraser from Baramba Lewis, he messaged me and said that he's going to donate us a $100 voucher to one of our listeners that goes over to his socials, Facebook and Instagram. Give it a like and a follow, then come back to our comments and do done. My little kicker is there that you've had to have listened to our episode and tell us where Matty was born at. It's pretty simple. It's a Queensland town. Surprised he doesn't have 3 heads where he was born. Won't hold that against you, Matty. If anyone knows Elion as well, he was born in the same town, so they're pretty much brothers. We'll leave that one to themselves, so I know what I'm talking about. Go over to our Pelican Facebook page, comment done, and the town that Matty was born in, and you'll go into the draw to win a $100 Baramba voucher as well. So I'll cut that off on the Friday before on the day that on the 49th episode drops with this one, because we will have a new competition dropping on this episode as well. So lots of giveaways.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just playing around the screen here. There we go. I don't know what I did there, but I did something real clever. And I'm just trying to see if our guest is
sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Well, while you're clicking around doing some buttons, now you guys will probably miss. Some of you guys will probably miss this, but you can go back and watch it if you have got the NBN news app. So tonight, which is Wednesday.
Well done for covering this. Just a short note on this. This is the first time that I've never written anything down. I forgot about it. I was watching the Rapala thing last night, then it just flowed onto BMP, and then I fell asleep. And usually Tuesday nights when I sort of just string a few things together. But old P3 over here, he's written a whole heap of stuff down, and really impressive. Well done, mate.
Yep. Shooting stars today. So tonight, Wednesday night, NBN News. The guys from Lismore have got some national publicity on the dam. So it'll be interesting to see what gets brought up from that. Also, they have, I'm pretty sure, a local Aboriginal community member there as well.
Yeah. So the mob there. Shout out to the Githable mob. They're also involved as well. So hopefully, a whole of community approach is definitely the way to go.
Shout out to everyone that signed that petition as well, because without your guys' signature, stuff like this wouldn't be happening, and they'd probably just be closing the gates straight away on us. So good work, team.
Yeah. Do you just want to send him a message just to see if he's figured it out? Because there is a bit of a process to go with the video hookup that we do.
Should be coming. But while he's logging in, I'm on fire today.
You got more?
I got more.
Yeah.
So Bassmasters next year, they came to a vote during the week, and they have come down to that 50% of the events will be live.
Okay. The reception is ordinary. Does that mean you can see us?
Let's see.
I just got to try and. Geez, that makes a wild noise.
Yeah, mate. Can you?
No. And this is why we love the technology. Just trying to see where he could be.
Can you hear me? Hello. Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Due to our wonderful technical prowess here at the Two Pelicans Podcast, we've had a bit of a stuff around, but we do now have today's guests on. Warm welcome to Bo Sawyer. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Thank you, mate. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah. So, look,
we haven't really spoke about what you got up to last week with the bloke next to me, but might be a good segue to have that discussion, I think.
Yeah, no worries. Well, me and a couple of mates were just down at Aluka for the week, and yeah, Beau was nice, mate, to jump on the boat and show me around a little bit. And yeah, we got some nice fish.
Yeah, right. Very good. And obviously, look, we'll probably best to sort of start your fishing story out like we do with everyone else on the podcast, because I've actually got a lot of other questions probably prior to where you are now, and things that have obviously that you've done over the last few years. But mate, where did the passion from fishing start from for yourself?
Yeah, it would have been the old man, mate, taking me out fishing on the weekends, and I think that's sort of where it grew from. So, great father-son sort of time fishing with him, and mate, we didn't catch a lot back then, to be honest with you, but always enjoyed the day, and half the time I was just pretty happy getting the Cheeto roll and chocolate milk, and
Yep. Sorry, you there?
Yep,
there it is.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're just having, obviously, I think you mentioned your internet's not working real well. Well, funnily enough, ours isn't working well today for some reason, and it's not raining. So bizarre. Must be too cold. I'm not sure. So look, anyhow, from that, so you've gone through now. I guess when I first noticed your name was probably rocking up to the Flatty Classics, and just to go one furthermore, you're tied in with the Gold Coast Sports Fishing Club, aren't you? Or were?
Right, so I started fishing the Flatty Classic about 3 years ago, and then they've asked me to jump on the committee, which has been great, learning from those guys. So, look, mate, I probably put a lot in, bring a lot of value back, learning a lot at the moment, and it's been really interesting seeing how a club runs, and even organising a huge event like the Flatty Classic. Yeah.
I think it's like, personally, I'd like to go have a look at this barrow one, but look, from what I've done, it's leaps and bounds one of the most funnest few days of my life every year. So the fishing, I don't think we ever go really good in the fishing, but geez, we have a good time trying.
It's a crack a few days. My liver hates it, but it's a great couple of days, mate. You've got a lot of your fun time goers, and then you've got a small bunch of guys sort of up there on the top that are a little bit more serious about it. So it is quite competitive, but there's a lot of the fun side to it as well, mate. And the events after the fishing day, it's pretty cool as well. Everyone gets on the pier. Plenty of give away. It's a good event.
Yeah, no, it is a good event. Hey, look, I guess one thing that also prompted me in my memory as well, that you were part of a charter company as well. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because obviously that means you're on the water a fair bit, really, aren't you, if you're sort of doing that sort of thing?
Definitely, mate. I've been very blessed to probably be on the water more days in the last couple of years than most in the world, to be honest with you. And, no, it was fantastic. The things you see out on the water, if you're out there day to day, you just can't beat that hands-on experience. Just seeing fish behaviour change day to day, even the conditions in the system as well. You can't replace it. It's been really good. To be honest with you, mate, like, it's probably the weather that's the hardest part about being a fishing guide. So we've had some pretty terrible weather in the last 6 to 8 months, and
of course,
born, mate, you can't sort of put up with that. So it's time for up and find a more stable job.
Yeah. Now, before we move over to that job, I do have a little question. And actually, we were gonna, or I was going to reach out to you months ago about the what was it? The Dolphin incident. Pretty random sort of thing, and some mixed, I would say, some mixed discussions around that situation, wasn't there?
Yeah, mate, there definitely was. That was a pretty crazy day, actually. I had two young fellas out on the boat, and one of the young fellas regularly come out with us quite a bit, and we're fishing up at Moreton Bay, and mate, the fish activity just went ballistic. We were catching a lot of fish, and the dolphins were eating everything we were throwing back in the water. So I actually moved away from that spot for a while and gave it a break. And we came back straight away started catching fish again, and the dolphins are straight on top of it. And probably within a minute of rocking back up, one has jumped clear over the two guys fishing at the front of the boat, smacked the console, and then landed on the back of the boat.
Yeah, right. It's just nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just pretty nuts, mate. The follow-on from that, like the video went viral. A lot of reporters and stuff messaging me. Yeah, it's pretty annoying today. Even the keyboard warriors, that was probably the worst thing. Just people, just pick it up and throw it back in.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, about a month later, it happened to a group of guys in New Zealand, and they actually had to get a tractor in to lift the dolphin out. That's
that's insane.
Yeah. All right. So look, you've moved on to that, and now you're with S Tackle.
Yeah, mate. So with S Tackle now, I've been working with them for about 3 months. Still learning as I go at the moment, mate. I reckon I'm probably Australia's worst salesman, but we're definitely getting things going, mate. It's been really good, and we've got some pretty big things in the works as well. So
Yeah. Hey, look, I'll give you a sales tip, right? You don't have to be the world's best salesman. You just got to be a good order taker.
Yeah.
Trust me, for someone that's come from sales background. But anyhow, that's all right. I don't do it anymore. I'm probably way out of the scene of it. But look, the other Beau, because that was funny, because we were talking about Beau, and he's like, "Who, me? Oh yeah, no, not me." He's given us or you've given him some baits here, and I assume that some of these baits were probably what you used on the weekend or on when you caught up with old P3.
Yeah, I think we probably caught most of our fish on those ones, mate. I think I only really fished that and a couple of our bigger paddle tails, but mate, they definitely slayed it down there. Working very well for me up here in that white bait colour, and probably averaging around good session, which has been good. And,
okay. So when I look at these and look at a lot of other ones on the market, it is quite a small profile. Which is great for obviously the Clarence River. Anything that's sort of around that 2.53 inches is dynamite. But I guess just for our listeners and that, what are you dressing these in with weights and hook size and that?
Yeah, so I would usually run that 1/8 jig head and a number 1 hook. And, I'll be honest with you, our jig heads are probably a little bit too bulky for that plastic. So usually I'm running a TT light gauge hook.
Yeah.
And then we've even tried some of the new Rapala ones as well, the thick gauge ones, and they've been excellent, mate. So just find that size hook in that plastic doesn't really blow the guts out of them, and they're
and that's the thing, because they are quite a narrow profile plastic, and it's really a jerk reaction that you're trying to achieve with that.
I don't actually fish it hard, to be honest with you, mate. How I fish them. They do quite nicely. They will. The 4-inch size will wobble quite nicely on a slow roll, but I found with that 2.5 very slow lighters, and let the lure do the rest of the job.
Yeah. Okay. Righto. And look, these aren't the only things that you guys have got on the market. What's some of the range that you guys have got on there, or might be coming out in the near future?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of pretty standard paddle tails as well, mate. Our little rattle chamber in there, and also up near the head there's a bit of a space there you can squeeze your dent into as well. So they're excellent on the Flathead, mate. They're our best performing lure yesterday, so running them in the flatty comps the next month or two.
Yep.
We've got the prawns, yabby, probably the most realistic yabby you probably find on the market.
Okay.
We've got a shaking dam hard body lure, so that's a 60 mil hard body lure that dives 1.5 to 3 meters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this, right, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. One way that I might have fished it here at the moment was maybe go back to even like a 1/20th or even a sort of like a hidden weight, like a 1/24th, 28th or something like that.
Yeah. And
just try and get it there and get it fluttering down the face of the rock wall. Especially, if you fish somewhere out in that wash areas.
Yeah, but look, they look great. I think Beau's going to let me have one or two of them to try when I get around to it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I've got to say the way Bo worked Palmer's with these, and as you said, he fluttering it down that rock wall.
Yep.
The way he was getting it down,
Yep.
like I think at one stage it was 6-1. But yeah, no, to watch you in your element on Palmer's on my home water and to do what you did there, it was you opened my eyes up big time, and yeah, no, I'm really excited to throw around the fishtail minnows and get some good fish on them.
I guess and this probably just leads. I'm probably stepping outside sort of where we're talking here at the moment, but I have to admit I've been really slack, and I'll just let you in on a little secret. I normally have a whole thing written up about what I ask and all this stuff, right? Generally, last night was the first night I don't think I've ever done it after 49 episodes, right? So I do apologise, but I was watching the Rapala thing, and then I just started going down the YouTube rabbit warren of tournament fishing. So so I do apologise that we probably don't have a hell of a lot of. I don't have any great questions asked, but one thing that I sort of I think might interest a few people. How does one sort of get into the fishing industry? Like, how has this come about for you? Can I ask that, or is it a bit too fresh at the moment? Or
as far as the tackle side goes, or fishing guide, or a bit of everything.
Yeah. Oh, a bit of everything. Yeah, like the guiding. Guiding would be a great insight how you got into that. Yeah, for sure.
Look, for me, firstly, I hate my job. I've done a few different trades, concreting, locksmithing, and the last one, roofing, which I hated most of all, to be honest with you, mate. I actually hurt my back, so I had no choice but to try and find another job, but that's still there. What worked really well for me, mate, as much as we all hate social media sometimes, it's a great way to get your name out there and know you. So I did get into the social media, but more importantly, every chance I got, I went out fishing, just tried to learn as much as I can. I think once you start getting the competition results, people start looking at you a little bit more.
Yeah.
That definitely helped, mate. And from there, I got offered a job as a fishing guide. So that was fantastic. And with that, mate, those comp wins, you're starting to get on tip every now and then for fishing episodes as well, which certainly helps. And I think it's just a case of once people start to know who you are, you present it with a few more opportunities.
Yeah, look, and that's probably a fair call. Like, you've had exposure. You were on, I forget what TV show, but I'm sure you'll tell us. But I do remember seeing you on a show, and then the whole Dolphin thing, and all the rest of it. So, what was that show?
Creek to Coast, mate.
Creek to Coast. Yeah. I do remember seeing it somewhere. I do remember that. But that's really interesting to know. And I guess from there, the transition into a tackle rep. I guess, how did that come about, and how are you finding the change?
Yeah, so Tim's the owner of Tackle. He sort of knew me from the Gold Coast Sport Fishing Club and seeing me at a few flatty comps and stuff like that, mate.
And they're great sponsors of the Flathead Classic as well. They've always got prize packs in the packs every year.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to support the fishing industry in any way. Like, we are pretty small, mate, but we've been rocking up at fishing clubs and trying to teach people everything we can and hand lures to kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, sweet.
So that's been great to come into, mate. And Tim sort of we didn't really know each other, but he knew of me and I sort of knew of him, and it sort of happened, mate. I think once that weather was getting pretty bad for me, I wasn't being able to get the starters done. I knew I needed something else, and I didn't want to move away from the fishing industry because it's definitely my passion.
Been enjoying it, yeah, for sure.
I leave now, I may never come back, but so sort of stuck with my guns there a bit, and lucky enough to get a job with Tim.
Yeah, nice. And just to obviously plug the other guys as well, Captain's Charters up the coast is still running and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, Brian's still
Yep.
running, mate. He's got
Yep.
a couple of guys that will start with him within the year, probably this year
Mm-hmm.
sometime. And Brian, he's an absolute legend. We're still really good mates. He was actually really happy for me. As much as he didn't want me to go, he was happy I found a stable income, and
Yeah.
I still talk to him a couple of times a week. So
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
awesome,
nice.
man. Yeah.
good.
And let's be honest, you guys. So this year with the Flathead Classic,
Yep.
are you out on your own now, or have you been kicked out of the Captain's Charters team? Just out of curiosity.
No, mate, I've decided to fish with the best tackle.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Good.
Wins under
Well,
our-
you guys were like pretty much nearly angler of the years or team of the years, pretty much the last couple of years, haven't you?
No, mate, there's some pretty good teams up here on the coast.
Yeah, there is.
We won it 3 years ago now, I think. And,
3 years ago. Yeah.
We've done all right in the comp here and there since then. I think this last year, I think we come 5th or 6th, something like that.
Yeah. One thing I noticed when you, because I've obviously fished that last couple of years, and we're up around the Golden Banks. I don't know what day it was. I definitely don't think I seen you early on the first day, but the second or third day, I think I did see you there. And anyhow, I was interested to see you guys were moving around a little bit. You know what I mean? And is that the strategy for one to go good at the Flathead Classic?
Not always. I think we moved around last year a lot less than what we have in the last few years. You can find those fish in a particular area. You really don't want to move. If you can fish that area in that water level, you're going to want to stay there and keep them off.
Yeah.
But even though you might have seen us moving around, actually didn't move that far spot to spot. So the areas we fished were probably all with 5-minute boat drive of each other.
Yeah, okay, right, okay, yes, yeah, righto. So you're working a particular area within it all, so no, that's fine. All right, mates. Anyhow, let's just, we're going to probably wrap it up soon, but just for our listeners, where can they find and have a look at the S-Tackle products? Where can they get them? And what's your favourite out of all of them?
For the numbers, mate, that 2.5 has just been absolute gold. Even on the big brim have been loving it. So
yeah, a good time of year to be throwing them.
Definitely, mate. Especially in an area which we fish a lot. Lots of little white bait around at the moment, so that mimics that very well. But we've got a flatty comp this weekend, and we need flathead, so I'll be fishing the 4-inch rattle minnow. Those two are my two favourite lures in the range.
Yeah, right. I'll have to go check that out because I think I used a Tide minnow a few times on the old flatty. So is it something similar to that, or is it a plastic? What is that?
No, they're just those ones, mate. So the rattle minnow is just has a bit of a rattle in it.
Yep.
In the plastic. You can find us online. Got a list of stockists on the website. You can also buy from the website, but we credit the sale to the closest tackle shop that stocks us as well.
Yeah, cool. And that's understandable. Yep.
Try to look after the bricks and mortar, mate.
Yep, 100%. Because there's nothing like going in, touching and feeling and looking at stuff at your local tackle shop, and I hope everyone supports them guys. So.
And trust me, you do want to touch these. These are the plastic isn't like a normal plastic. Like it's soft, but it's also strong. Like you probably caught 4 Taylor, 6 brim, 3 Jewfish, and you're like, oh, I might have to change it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, getting a good 30 feet off that plastic most of the time, mate, and very durable and stays on the hook too. So if you get a mishit, probably still going to be straight on the hook.
Still in place.
Yeah.
And another exciting thing that you guys just found out is that you are going to be at AFTA again this year.
Yeah, mate. I'm actually trying to organise that now. I've never been on the other side of Public Day, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
Let me just say, from last year at Public Day, you guys did an amazing job giving back to the kids. So if it's going to be anything like that, your ass is going to be hanging out of you.
I can't see myself doing as good of a job as last year, mate. But, I've already stuffed up. I was supposed to order a 9x3 tent, and I accidentally 3x3 tent. So I don't know if Tim's too happy with me at the moment, but we'll
there's nothing like being warm and cozy. All right, look, Bo, thanks for your time. I hope P3 wasn't too much of a punish out with you on the water. It was good. Yeah, no, that's good. But look, thanks for your time. Thanks for putting up with our technology issues. It will be a bit scratchy through the piece of it, but yeah, look, we're about to I think pass this unit through and go get a new one now. We're pretty much over it. So look, thanks for your time, Bo Sawyer, S Tackle Bait Company. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, Barry.
Cheers, mate. Bye. All right. Now,
there we go.
Mate, that was an interesting chat, and I do apologise to the listeners and to Beau as well. The technology today is absolutely horrendous. I don't know what's happened with it. It's pissing me off.
It is annoying.
I'm gutted. So,
but anyway, guys, go check out S Tackle.
Yeah,
they're a new company in Australia,
doing new things,
doing good things.
Yep.
And look, they're only going to grow with our support. So they're a company that's doing good things, ain't copying.
Yep.
They're on their own lane and sticking to it. So
yeah.
Go around, give them a check.
It is quite different what I'm looking at here, and like yeah, it'd be good to just go have a flick of these around in my spare time and have a bit of a play. So yeah. Anyhow, mates, we better wrap that up there now. We've gone probably overtime in our normal time. Beau's got to go to work. I've got to go drink more cans. That's just how the world works at the moment, you know.
That's it.
But look, you've been listening to the Two Pelicans podcast. I'm Mick.
I'm Beau.
And we are the Two Pelicans saying goodbye to this last machine.
You.
Oh, what was the child one?
This one. Let's get rid of this fucking shit. Yeah! Woo! Rock out!